Okay, so this month we are talking about anxiety, as you'll see by our lovely light box that Nicky's brought for us. We wanted to cover anxiety, and we had a brief talk about it last month at the Members Club before we brought it over to our open Facebook group, but we really wanted to cover it again because this is a thing that people are talking about, particularly during the COVID-19 and all the things that have happened in 2020, people losing jobs, people going on furlough, and a whole range of things that people have felt particularly anxious about and have probably experienced higher levels of anxiety than perhaps usual, even if it's something that they maybe don't suffer with normally. And people who do suffer with anxiety have probably seen a real high rise in that. And certainly in my years in practicing, it's the thing that people come most to me for in terms of helping with anxiety. And I suppose the thing that struck us is that these common problems like sleep and anxiety, you know, and kind of that overeating and the boredom and the needing comfort is the thing that's really risen. So that's what we're going to focus on in today's session. So I hope you enjoy it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen with you so that we can run through a few pointers on anxiety. So I suppose the first thing that I wanted to acknowledge is that anxiety is not just a feeling. Of course, it's probably something that we associate with anxiety the most, that panic, that stomach churning, that feeling as if you need to leave, shortness of breath. All of those are feelings, of course they are, but anxiety is not something that you can just switch on and off. And if you have felt anxiety before, and particularly people who feel severe anxiety, you'll know if someone says, it's okay, don't panic, don't worry, none of that is helpful. And even though we can do some things to alleviate the anxiety, it's not just a feeling, it's physical as well. It's hormonal, it's mental, it's to do with our diet. It can be really complex, and actually anxiety, particularly for those people who feel it quite severely, can be rooted in childhood issues. So I want to acknowledge that first and foremost. And if you feel anxious or you feel I shouldn't be feeling anxiety, it's not your fault. There are lots of things that can be at play here. So what we want to do today is just share a couple of really practical things that will absolutely help to relieve anxiety from one angle. And I'm going to hand over to Nicky to talk about the food element of anxiety.
Hello everybody. As Alison's just said, which I think is quite key, when we're feeling anxious, it is a physical feeling as well. You know, and we talk about it a lot in the private practice I used to do with clients. And obviously I had many clients come in with IBS type symptoms, and much of that was underpinned and driven through anxiety, because obviously when we're feeling anxious and the stomach's all knotted, we're not able to digest our food properly. So absolutely, diet will play a key role here. In helping, you know, obviously relieve that tension. And there's different foods that we can eat as well when we're feeling anxious to try and relieve that anxiety. So I've just put together a recipe of the month, which I've just called Anti-Anxiety Stress Busting Dish. And basically this dish is wonderful because it's got every single element in it that you will need for your body cells to feel calm. It's full of absolute clean nutrition. And the main feature here is the oily fish. And in this case here, what I actually did was halibut. I think we'll just maybe show you a picture of that. I think we've got a picture, haven't we, Alison, of the can we go down? There we go. So that's
nice.
Yeah, I can tell you it was. Sorry, yeah. It's that time when we can actually do a taste division, but unfortunately we're just on describing. But as you can see as well, and what I loved about doing this dish was it was a good sharing dish. And so it's not just the physical elements of the actual dish, it's actually the sharing and the talking over an actual meal as well. So you'll see in the middle there, we've got the fresh halibut, which is lovely because it's full of all the essential omega oils that you need to make your cells feel calm. All our cell membranes are fatty membranes, and the oils in the fish help the cell membranes actually signal properly. So when we're trying to fire nerve signals and calm the systems down, then these oils are absolutely crucial. And the good thing about fish as well is it's high in what we call EPA and DHA, which is preferential towards the brain, DHA in particular. So if you are a vegetarian or a vegan, you can definitely use algae instead, which is a high omega-3 content, and there's hemp oil and things like that.
Because some people really don't like the taste of fish either, do they? We've had that comment back before.
That's right, that's right. And I would obviously, if your dietary preference is absolutely vegetarian or vegan, then I would suggest, I'm going to come on to supplements soon, because the thing is, you can eat a lot of seeds and nuts which are high in omega-3s and omega-6s. However, it's the conversion in the body is never as good as it is with fish, because the thing about fish, eating fish, is the fish have already converted the oils for us. So when we eat the fish, we're eating a product that's very easy for us to absorb and use. When we're eating seeds or nuts, of course, they are super nutritious and healthy, but we have to go through probably about 8 steps within our own bodies to convert those oils down to be able to use.
So we're not going to feel as calm quickly either.
Exactly.
So the fish is going to have a quicker acting.
Absolutely,
on that
that's key. Thank you for bringing that up. Absolutely key, absolutely key. So it's just a crucial point. If you're a vegan or a vegetarian, then you've just got to really bear that in mind. So you might want to just keep supplements in the backyard, which I will come on to, but just to kind of almost get that. It's the DHA which goes preferential to the brain, which is what we're trying to get here. So number one, try and eat fish if it's your absolute dietary preference. Also, of course, it's your personal preference, but do try and then maybe look at a supplement, even if you took it once every other day. Get plenty of nuts and seeds in your diet, of course, but you've just got to remember that the conversion is not as quick. And then here you'll see, again, we've got the leafy greens, which are full of all our B vitamins, high in magnesium. B vitamins and magnesium work synergistically together with the essential fats to calm the nervous system. B vitamins in particular help all the signals get to where they should be. We've got some black beans in there, which is what I used, with beets and some pine nuts in there, which again come with all the mineral contents. And then obviously you'll see the carrot in the background. Carrot's really, really good for gut health. And obviously it's full of the beta carotene, so it's high in kind of like the vitamin E, which again is very calming for the cells. And then obviously you've got the eggs. Again, obviously you'd have to leave the eggs off if obviously you're a vegan. But if you are a vegetarian, then I would recommend definitely getting the eggs in, because this is literally all you've got in eggs is protein and healthy fats. Don't be frightened of all the things that have been said about eggs in the past. Eggs are very, very healthy. And obviously that orange colour in the middle of the egg is the fat, as we all know. And then that fat has got choline in it, which again works synergistically with the B vitamins just to help calm the system.
And Nicky and I love eggs, don't we? They feature
we
on
do,
every breakfast.
Most of our pubs. Yeah. As I think Yvonne Wakes picked me up on a couple of times. So now it's become a bit of a standing joke. But I think it is a good point, because if you don't eat meat, but you are a vegetarian, then I would say to include eggs as a regular part of your diet, because they're just one of those pure protein sources and healthy fat sources with exactly the right combination that it's difficult to find elsewhere.
And Nicky, if you wanted to use a different fish apart from halibut, in terms of going back to that, getting the same oils for the anxiety, does it matter too much which fish?
Yeah, no, as long as it's an oily fish. So other suggestions, I would say salmon, of course, is a wonderful oily fish. Kippers, if you like those, I know they're either love or a hate. Sardines, probably the same, a love or a hate. We've got mackerel, again, I know it can be quite strong. And again, I often get asked, is it best to have fresh or the tinned? And actually, with mackerel, even if you're struggling to kind of cook fresh and things like that, it's a really healthy tinned fish that you can actually take, obviously, to work and use as pack up and things like that. And that's got all the oils still intact. And again, if those are too strong for you, rainbow trout has got all the oils in as well.
Very mild.
It's lovely, and it's soft fish as well. Sea bass is absolutely one of my favourites. A pan-fried sea bass, lightly fried, you'll still get the oils in that one as well. And cod. So if you are just literally, you just like a white fish, a standard white fish, then cod is also a really, really healthy essential oil fish that you could use.
And I think that people quite often say they don't like the taste of fish, but actually what they're probably referring to is they don't like the smell of fish. Now, a very fresh fish should never smell. So if you get your fish from a fishmonger's, for example, things like cod and sea bass, shouldn't have a smell, and
Absolutely.
they are almost flavourless, but you're still getting all the really good nutrients.
Absolutely. So that's a really, really good point as well. And I think if you don't like fish, like Alison just said as well, you don't have to have a full piece of fish sat there with you. You could make a kedgeree. So obviously you've got your fish and it's just flaked up, and maybe you're popping it in some brown rice, and you're popping your peas or your beans in there as well, and flavouring it up with some herbs and spices, and then you don't feel like you're eating such a piece of fish. It's just another way of just trying to get it in. So yeah, I absolutely completely recommend this recipe. Give it a go, use whichever oily fish you can, and then share with us. So if you try and make this dish, share it with us. That'd be great to see your combos coming up.
Definitely, and it'd be great for other people as well, because it just gives twists on the same dish.
Everybody different ideas. Absolutely.
Did you want to talk through the method in a bit more detail, Nick?
Yeah, I think the method, it's all on there, guys, for you to be able to see. I mean, it looks quite a complex dish, but really it's not. You're obviously just going to get your oven hot. And the thing is, really, the only thing that takes time with this dish, to be fair, is obviously the beans. And I think most of us know that if you buy in the dried beans, you're going to be soaking them overnight, and it's a much shorter cook time when you actually come to cooking them. If you're buying the tin beans, you can literally heat and eat. So whichever option you find it easiest, really.
Yeah.
And then obviously, it's kind of once your beans are taken care of and your oven's in the fish, really you're kind of good to go on the other stuff. This shouldn't take any longer than sort of like 20 minutes to put the full thing together. Obviously not including obviously the preheating of the oven and things like that, and the cooking of dried beans as such. But obviously we're going to share this recipe as well afterwards, and so it'll be available for you. It's in a PDF, so you can download it if you want to do it in live time. Download it, print it off, or just use it on your smartphone, and you can use it there and then. So we'll give this to you. Obviously everybody can use this. So there's obviously the side dish as well. And then what I'll do now, I think, is probably come on to supplements. I think that follows on quite well from what we've just been talking about. So Alison's going to bring the supplements up for me, because I think that follows on well from the point where if you're not eating fish, or you are suffering, with exacerbated anxiety, post lockdown, then I've put together this supplement program. Alison and I have produced a little mini course to help immediate relief, and there's loads of dietary top 5 in there, and top 5 to avoid as well. And what I've actually decided to do, in addition to the things that are in that, is actually put a suggested supplement program for you, because this is your primary concern, and you are absolutely suffering with anxiety. You're having more attacks than usual. You're finding that things are bothering you that wouldn't have bothered you more. Then this is a really, really good program to follow. First and foremost, what I would say, if this is from my perspective, obviously Alison's going to share some more things with you, is before you talk about supplements, I've just got to stress that your diet is absolutely fundamentally your number one thing to address here. And I've obviously give you some ideas there and talked around the recipe, but it's your number one priority. It's your 80%, your supplements are your 20% on top. So just if you aren't eating a good diet, and you're eating quite a lot of takeaways, just grabbing and going, and not really thinking about your food, and then you put supplements in, yes, they will help slightly, because some of them will help slightly, and some of them are quite instantaneous. However, you're not going to feel the same effects if you get your diet sorted out first. So that's just a really, really key point. If you sort your diet out and then you've got this supplement program on top, actually you'll see a massive fundamental big change in how you feel.
And we do talk in more depth about diet in the total reset system, in terms of how to build a plate and how to make sure you've got all the nutrients that your body needs to be happy as well as healthy.
Absolutely. And that is a step-by-step process, enable you to sort of like clean what you're doing now, clean your cupboards, clean everything, and then build your plate, literally foundation plate. Then we would layer on top of that and layer on top of it again to get you to that place. So that is a really, really good program. If you are in that place and you're not sure what to do with your diet, then the total reset system is fantastic for completely resetting your plate. If you're in a good place and your anxiety is your main issue right now, this little mini program is absolutely fantastic for you. So you'll see here what I've done as a bonus, and I said this wasn't originally included, but I wanted to put it in because I thought it was really important to kind of help people go the extra step and just feel that bit better. Is you'll see a B vitamin complex with vitamin C. vitamin C is really, really supportive of our adrenal glands, and our adrenal glands sit on the back of the, on top of the kidneys. And the adrenal glands, of course, are part of the stress system. So when we are constantly using those because we're feeling anxious, so we're constantly driving out our stress hormones to be able to manage how we're feeling, they can sometimes need a bit of extra support. And vitamin C supports the adrenal glands, along with the B complex, which helps calm the nervous system and helps fire those cellular signals properly. Magnesium is one of the most, if not the most, calming mineral, and we use it for so many different processes in our body. We'll probably use this for probably about, I would say, about over 300 processes that are just known so far, and new ones getting discovered each day. Obviously, we all know that magnesium relaxes muscles. Well, it has the same effects on the nervous system. So magnesium, your vitamin C and your B complex work synergistically together to really give you that fundamental calming effect. So I would definitely recommend those, the bolts and braces. On top of that, if you are having these episodes of anxiety and just feeling you can't concentrate because you want to avoid stuff, and you're over here, then you're over here, and you're over here, and you're feeling a bit manic, lemon balm and L-theanine are wonderful, and I mean wonderful, to work together. Lemon balm is such a nice calming herb, with L-theanine, which is found in tea, but tea can have the opposite effect and send our blood sugar up, and I'll talk about that a bit further down the line when we go do another live session.
And particularly if it's got caffeine in, which
absolutely
is going to have a counter
that's as a
effect
counter,
as well.
absolutely, as a counter effect. This is the pure amino acid, and L-theanine literally has a direct effect on the alpha brainwave, just right across the front of the head here, and it usually works in about 20 minutes. So it's, if you are feeling and you've got that rising feeling in your stomach, this is a fantastic one to take. A caution here, which is all in the program, it's all in the program, which is obviously part of the mini, that if you are on anti-anxiety medication, you must check for any contraindications with lemon balm. L-theanine is generally tolerated as safe, but with all supplements you must check with your doctor or your pharmacist if you are already on prescribed medication. So they are wonderful. The next one that I've put down there, we've just been talking about, if you're not eating a lot of oily fish, and just say you like fish but you're just not getting to it because you have not got time to cook, you're rushing about, there's maybe only you in your family that likes it and nobody else eats it, you feel like it's a waste. Rainbow trout oil soft gels, wonderful product by Viridian, and they're organically farmed as well, so it's a wonderful product that you can take, and obviously you'll get that high EPA and DHA, this high omega-3 concentration within that. If you are a vegetarian or vegan and you don't want to be taking the fish oils, then I would suggest there's a vegan oil which is derived from algae, which has got a high percentage of EPA and DHA, again, which is suitable for like calming and for the nervous system there. So I've put together this mini program, which is obviously, it's there on screen for you right now. I'm going to also give you a discount code as well if you actually want to take advantage of that, and it's in our little mini program. I've done this as a little booster. You'll see the brands that I've recommended. Now the brands I've recommended is for a reason, and the reason I recommend these brands and these particular ones is because they have no rubbish in them. They are pure products, these are ethical companies, and they are pure products. This means that we're not filling the capsule with harmful fillers that a lot of the cheaper brands on the high street, and any cheap, it's the old saying is true, if anything in life seems too good to be true, it usually is. So if you're finding a supplement for £2 or £3, it's probably full of rubbish, and actually you're not getting the actual potency that you think you're going to get.
And could have a counter effect on what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely, absolutely. So these are companies that I work with and that I've used with my private clients in private practice, and I use for myself as well. So these are the companies that I recommend, and these specific ones, this little program here. And if I can just flick the sheet, please, Alison, so the next one, you'll see here that for anybody that wants to take advantage of this, there's actually, I've negotiated a 15% off code, and so you need to visit the links on here, the Natural Dispensary. So you would go to the Natural Dispensary, you can register if you're not already registered, and I have negotiated a 15% off code with the Natural Dispensary for our Healthy Human Club. So any supplements you want, there's not just those available that I've talked about on there, but that is specifically targeted towards anxiety. But you can use this 15% off code as part of the Healthy Human Club. You would use the code SAINT15 at checkout, and you could, in the practitioner box, you would put my name, which is Nicola Sainty, and they also take the orders over the phone. So I just wanted to offer that additional support. So even if you don't get the little mini anxiety program, you can still take advantage of this supplement program and share your journey with us. Let us know what you think about everything. And I think that on top of a diet, a good diet will really, really help you just get to that that next step. So, and obviously any questions that you might have about any supplements in relation to anxiety and diet, please feel free to obviously drop them into Facebook comments and tag it onto one of our posts, and Alison and I will definitely pick it up for you. When Alison has finished speaking, we're actually going to put a link in for our little mini relieve anxiety in 3 simple steps. We're going to put this in with a code for 24 hours, and this little mini program takes you through 3 simple steps. I'll take you through a video of food, of top 5 and top 5 to eat, top 5 to avoid, and reasons why, not just what you would click on the internet. There's reasons behind that and how they will affect your system. So there's a video on there that I will talk through. And then Alison's got 2 steps to help the body and the mind. She's got a lovely, lovely meditation on there. And then she's got immediate relief techniques. And on top of that, she's also got an emotional freedom technique. And I can tell you that I've tried some of those immediate relief techniques, and that was wonderful, really, really, really wonderful. Normally this program would be $14.99, and for our Healthy Human Club for 24 hours, we're going to give you a £5 code here, and we'll drop this in after the Zoom, and you can be able to take that off, and you will get it for $9.99 for 24 hours, this little mini program. And if you are interested in a total reset, at the end of the mini program, you'll get a code to be able to take $9.99 off that. So you will never get the total reset system any cheaper than you would in the next 24 hours. It's currently on offer for £99. You'll get a $9.99 code off. So basically, you're going to get this program, this total reset system, for around £89, and it will never ever be cheaper. That will go back up to its full price of $297 on September the 30th. So it's almost, you get this course free.
Yeah.
If you will look at it like that, you will get this little mini anxiety course free, and then obviously you're into the TRS system.
Yeah.
So I really hope that helps, guys. Now I'm going to hand over to Alison now, and as I say, welcome questions in the Facebook club, and please, if you're struggling to enter any codes or anything like that, this is live for 24 hours and then it'll be off. So do let us know and give us a shout and we'll sort that out for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the code, just to kind of emphasize, the codes are entered at checkout. Now, sometimes you have to press a little arrow to drop that code box down. So just be aware of that. When you get to that last page, before you check out, just pop that code in there. But as Nicky said, if you've got any problems, just let us know. So just Nicky mentioned briefly about some of the techniques that we use in the Anxiety Mini. Now, as some of you may know, I am an emotional freedom technique practitioner, as well as being a Reiki master. And what those 2 things do is they give me a really good understanding of how our body's energy system and nervous system works. And we use what's called meridians. And so the tapping is at the end points of those meridians in specific places, using specific setup statements, which work not just physically with the body's energy, but it's also about controlling and retraining and reprogramming your brain, so that if you've got into a routine, and don't get me wrong, anxiety is a very real thing, but we can exaggerate it because we keep telling ourselves, I'm an anxious person, I'm going to worry about this, I'm worried about this. And all the time we are affirming this, we are creating that program in our brains, and it becomes our reality, and it becomes a big beast, and we need to squash that beast. So these things are evidence-based techniques that will really help you get your brain on board. So together with the food, so remember, Nicky and I always cover nutrition, mind and body, so the whole system, your whole system of life is covered to get you back on track. So guys, thank you for joining us, and I hope you found that really helpful. Do make use of those codes and get even more support, and have a wonderful day whatever you're doing today.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye now. Bye. Bye.